Has the Dark Tower jumped the shark without even being near the ocean?
Has the batch spoiled the Hobbit?
Plus, we remember 2 Hollywood icons that have passed away. Again, more people dying this week. Kurt stops by to bewilder us with trivia. We've got a con report. That's all coming up on today's installment of Slice.
Covering all the news from every dark corner of the universe.
Hello from the children of planet Earth.
Hola y saludos a todos. धरती के वासियों की ओर से
Sliceofsci-fi.com.
So everybody heard about the stories we were going to report this week and decided to abandon ship. We're all that's left. I'm Michael Armenengay.
I am Brian Brown.
And I am Megan Zier. They wouldn't let me leave.
We're back to a tripod or a trilogy. Or a trifecta.
Trifecta. I like trifecta.
Triad.
Triforce.
Triathlon.
We're triathletes? No, we're definitely not that.
Troika.
A troika. Oh,
yeah,
I
what's
like
a
that.
troika?
It's just something good, my comrade. Don't worry. We shall go on this.
Can we do some news, please?
News, yes. Duh.
And now the news.
We have great news tonight. I'm going to read the news all like this tonight.
Okay.
Nice.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
From
kidding.
Transylvania, 65000.
Blah, blah. Tonight on the news, we have
One news
the
story.
one. I'm not going to do that. So, the multi-platform adaptation of Stephen King's the epic fantasy series, The Dark Tower, is not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen, folks. So early this year, Universal cut the project due to the high price tag, leading Ron Howard and Akiva Goldsman to shop the project around to Hollywood. Now, Warner Brothers appeared to be interested, even drafting Goldsman to take another pass on the script for the first theatrical installment. But it appears it wasn't what Warner Brothers was hoping for.
Wow.
So the studio said, we're going to pass as well.
That's just not boding well to the whole concept or the way. I mean, if it was really awesomeness and somebody was looking at it going, this thing's going to be great.
I think it's overly ambitious. They want to do a TV show. They want to do movies. They want to do miniseries. They want cereal boxes.
Wow.
They want popsicles. No, I don't know.
Cookies.
But I mean, really, so there's still some hope that the deadline reports that Media Rights Capital, MRC, is in quote-unquote serious talks. Now, we heard the same thing about WB, though, that they're in serious talks.
Serious talks means we had a lunch meeting.
Yeah, so so really what they wanted to do is, because they're still proposing the trilogy of films and the limited run TV series. Does not bode well. I mean, honestly, it really doesn't. Some more sad news out of Hollywood. Since our last report, the entertainment world has lost 2 more icons.
I know. What is up with this?
I have no idea. So actor William Windom and director Tony Scott.
That was a bad one.
Yeah, so Scott directed Top Gun, Days of Thunder, Beverly Hills Cop 2. Also one of my favorites, Crimson Tide.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie as well. And basically, his death last week is being investigated as a suicide by the San Francisco Police Department. He jumped off a bridge because he had brain cancer.
Yeah,
it's sad.
It's very, very sad. But if you really dig into the story, you know what? It's not.
Yeah, it's not even going to. It's pretty bad.
Now,
on the acting side of the camera, Emmy-winning actor William Windom also passed away. Now he's best known in genre circles for 2 memorable appearances on The Twilight Zone and his work as Commander Matt Decker in The Doomsday Machine. Commodore Matt Decker.
Commodore.
And now Windom had a long career and was a high demand for guests and supporting roles in television, theater, and silver screen. Very sad passing as well for that. So, man.
That's sad. You know what? It's sad enough that I think we should
take a break
quick
right there.
And,
okay. We'll come back some more.
People who come from different backgrounds or different countries deserve the same respect that we give to anyone else. Putting someone down because they speak a different language or is a different color than we are just doesn't make sense. What does make sense is treating others just the way we want them to treat us. See you next week.
The Shazam ISIS Hour. A full hour of exciting adventure with the world's most powerful mortals. Captain Marvel, champion of truth and justice. And ISIS, dedicated foe of evil. Both together in the Shazam ISIS Hour.
Your news team is next.
I could not stop smiling through
I
that
know.
whole thing. It was like, oh my God,
remember
I'm a
watching
kid
it as a
again.
Kid, yeah.
Holy cow.
We got one quick story before we get into talking about the fall TV season, which we're all excited about. What we're looking forward to, of course, is The Hobbit as well.
Yes.
And for a variety of reasons. One of the biggest is seeing how director Peter Jackson and his effects team will realize the dragon Smaug on the silver screen. Now, we haven't seen anything about Smaug yet, so it's kind of big. But it looks like we may have to wait a bit longer than December when the first film trilogy opens to see the full dragon. Now, that's from the voice of Smaug, who is Benedict Cumberbatch. The Batch, sorry, Cumberbatch. According to the Batch, exactly, the reveal of Smaug's eye will lead to the end of the first installment. So you'll see his eye.
And that's it.
And that's it. And
that's going to be our tease to get to the next one.
Yeah. And then, of course, you'll probably see him, the rest of the dragon, the next year for the next film.
Maybe it'll just be like a claw. And then like a tail.
A little bit of reveal. It's basically like strip tease with a dragon.
Oh, hot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Ha ha, that's very funny. Nice.
I know.
Nice, Megan.
I'm an incredibly funny person, and Sam isn't here,
Yes.
so I can make puns.
Very true. All right, let's talk about the fall shows because we're
Yes,
all
let's
excited
do.
about it. So get that DVR ready. It's almost time for a full fall season to kick off. Is there any series that'll grab our attention like Fringe or Lost did way back when? I don't know. Will there be some that come out of gate strong like Heroes did, only to fade off in time and suck like Heroes did? While we can't predict what the shows may or may not be a hit, we can offer you a look at what's coming out and what shows we're planning to sample this fall. This week, of course, we'll look at a bunch of these ones. So here we go. Starting off on Sunday, ABC offers us a chance to move into 666 Park Avenue.
I don't know about this one.
But here it is. Terry O'Quinn, who's awesome, and Vanessa Williams,
Right,
also
who's also awesome.
True.
It's a new series, one of the most intriguing this fall. Based on the novel by Gabriella Pierce, the series follows a couple who learns the Manhattan building complex that they just moved into, including its upscale tenants, might be possessed by a mysterious demonic force.
Okay.
Now, some critics who have seen the pilot says it reminds them a bit of Stephen King's novel Needful Things, with O'Quinn as the devil or someone who's on speaking terms with Lucifer himself. Now, O'Quinn tells Vulture that he doesn't know yet if he's the actual devil or not. He prefers that the producer not tell him too much about his characters so his performance will not be clouded.
That's smart, actually.
Kind of cool. So that series kicks off Sunday, September 30th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, on to Monday, NBC offers us the J.J. Abrams Kripke Revolution. I'm kind of excited.
I'm excited about this one.
I'm kind of trepidatious because I'm a big fan of the S.M. Sterling books, but
and we need something to replace Heroes because
Yes.
that fell so short, and this could be something that could
and they
take
pimped
that up.
the hell out of this thing during the Olympics.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. I think they also they showed the first 9 minutes of it. So
And I think you can even
you can see it online too.
You can
You're
see it
right.
online. Yeah, that's about what I was going to say.
So the series is set in a post-apocalyptic future where 15 years earlier, unknown phenomena permanently disabled all advanced technology on the planet. And that's a little different than what we've heard before, where they said electricity. So maybe they're getting a little smart about it.
I think we've yelled enough about it that they
Yes,
decided
you
that they're going
morons.
to move it a little bit there.
Yeah, the series focuses on the Matheson family, who possess an item that is key not only to finding out what happened 15 years ago, but also a possible way to reverse its effects. However, they must elude various enemy groups who want to possess the power for themselves. Imagine that. Post-apocalyptic, somebody wants the power, of course. The pilot, was screened recently at San Diego Comic-Con and with producer Eric Kripke saying that while the story will be featured questions like loss, he promised he'll give a lot more answers. We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
so.
I think everybody kind of learned something from Lost.
Yeah, I think this is a wait-and-see attitude from all of us, really, honestly. So Wednesday evenings, we'll see 2 new genre series, one drama and one comedy. And the drama, of course, gives us Arrow. Megan and I are both excited.
I know.
How about you, Mike?
I think I am. Yeah, I think this could be really good.
Yeah, starring Stephen Amell as Oliver Queen, a.k.a. the Green Arrow, the series hopes to capture the longevity and ratings that Smallville delivered first on the WB, then on CW.
Hopefully it's not as corny.
Right. I was going to say, if it's like Smallville, I'm not going to be into it.
Yeah.
Right. Producers noted that they've already made some drastic changes to the mythos, including, by the way, a little bit of a spoiler alert, both of Oliver's parents alive instead of dead, giving the only child from the comic books a younger sister as well.
Okay.
That's new, so this can be kind of different.
I'm curious what then his motivation was to become
right. Yeah.
Right.
So
because without that tragedy, without that piece to move them into, I don't know. You end up being kind of super cop
Right.
then.
But then he's also not Batman light.
Well,
true. There is that.
That's true.
So that gives him a little more wiggle room, I think.
You know what? I'm really looking forward to this one. The more we talk about it, the more I'm really looking forward to it.
And there's news came out that John Barrowman is also going to be an Arrow as well.
Really?
Yeah. So,
that could be awesome.
I know. I'm telling you. So
okay, I'm really on.
It's
board
on my
with this
DVR.
one.
So it starts Wednesday, October 10th at 8 p.m. EST on the CW. Now, also, there's going to be the NBC genre comedy, The Neighbors, originally called Down to Earth. It's a genre that comedy around a gated townhouse community called Hidden Hills. It's where the Weavers, a normal average family, have decided to move to. But upon the relocation of the community, they discover this place is populated by residents who are actually from another planet.
Imagine that. Because our neighbors are all aliens. We know that.
And they're all using the name of sports athletes.
Right. I remember that.
The men can all become pregnant, receive nourishment through their eyes and mind by reading books rather than eating, and cries out green goo from their ears.
Okay, then.
Okay, so not only that, it appears the aliens have been stuck on Earth for 10 years, still awaiting the distress signal to return home. Of course, this isn't exactly a new concept. So
no, it seems like a more glorified version of Mork and Mindy to me.
Mork and Mindy or Coneheads.
Or Coneheads,
right, that's what I thought.
Coneheads, exactly, yeah.
So the series will debut September 26th at 8:30 p.m. And, yeah.
We'll see.
What else can you say?
We'll see. It's like, so there's something that doesn't really sound like a genre show, but it looks pretty close. I think it may be. It's ABC's Last Resort, and what it is that's the guy. It's created by Sean Ryan, who gave us The Shield.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool there. The Last Resort is about a renegade crew of a United States Navy Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine, the fictional USS Colorado, that defies an order to launch nuclear missiles towards Pakistan, a decision that cost a previous commanding officer his job when he refused to follow similar orders without explanation or confirmation. When his replacement also questions the same orders, the vessel is fired upon without warning, and the crew is left for dead. Realizing they have been declared enemies of their own country, they set up camp in a fictional island of Santa Maria and declare themselves a sovereign nation with nuclear capability.
Oh!
At the same time...
Okay, that's definitely genre.
Yeah. And at the same time, the crew must find a way to prove their innocence and find out who set them up so they can return home to America. Now, it has a lot of talent behind the camera. So it's got Andre Braugher and Scott Speedman. And the headlining the former Whedonverse alum Deacon Lackman is also in a supporting role. So I'm kind of thinking, but the big problem is
this could be very cerebral. It could be very long-winded.
But the problem is it's kind of it's on Thursdays at 8 p.m. EST. It goes against Big Bang Theory.
Ooh.
Oh.
But I think personally Big Bang Theory is beginning to lose its edge.
It's lagging a little.
It's beginning to lag. So we might see that.
I've got half a season sitting on my DVR that I have not watched because I just, I don't. There's other things that kind of
trumpet. I know.
Trumpet, yeah.
But it is more family friendly.
Yeah, that's true. And the last thing we have is on Thursday, CBS has given up some prime real estate to take on Elementary. Now, starring Johnny Lee Miller as Holmes. Really?
Again.
And Lucy Liu as Watson.
But Lucy Liu would be really cool.
Pretty cool, but Johnny Lee Miller, really?
Right, I know.
So CBS and the show's producers insist this won't be a U.S. version of BBC's Sherlock. Miller is good friends with Benedict Cumberbatch, who stars in the BBC version, and says he's talked to the Batch about the character. He said, I wanted to show him how different the script is, Miller says, and this is another country and a whole different vibe. Listing all the differences in the incarnations of the character they've gone over through the years. This is from CBS President Nina Tassler. I think there's plenty of room for another Holmes in our world.
Oh, man.
Of course there is, because you want to make money off of it.
And the problem is Sherlock is so freaking awesome.
But again, some critics who have seen the show think it's a different enough take on the material
looks different.
That the comparisons should probably cease pretty quickly is what they're saying.
Okay.
So,
okay. I'll give it a shot, sort of.
But it's also it's a procedural along the lines of CSI or NCIS than the BBC version. So I guess we'll wait and see.
It kind of reminded me when I saw the previews of like Sherlock Holmes meets Monk.
Yeah, I think that's kind of really more what it's going to be like. And that debuts on September 27th at 10 p.m.
We have an idiot savant, Sherlock Holmes? What? Are you saying what?
Isn't that what he kind of looked like on the commercials?
Kind of reminding me of that.
And
Great.
I think it straight up said that he had OCD or something, right?
I think they talk about it because you know,
so much better than heroin usage.
Well, yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, heroin's so passe.
I know everybody does.
Maybe it should be bath salts instead. I'm thinking that'd be edgier. So anyways, folks, if you're out there listening and you have something that you're interested in seeing, please call our listener feedback line, and that is at 206-339-TREK. That's 206...
Nope. Sorry, I did the wrong thing.
That's all right, Megan.
339-8735.
Yes, that's the number there.
Whatever you do, don't go to Men in Black or They Are Real or whatever.
If you're watching
we should probably
video,
get rid of that
folks.
slide just to be on the safe side.
So anyways, you can also comment on our Slice of Sci-Fi website as well as our Facebook page and all of that. That kind of wraps it up for the news. So I think it's time for
some trivia. We might have a
get
little
our
something afterwards.
asses whooped at trivia.
Put on your thinking caps, kids, and play along with the gang. Hey, it's trivia time!
Well, hello, Slicers. It's Curtin St. George. This week's Slice of Trivia comes to us from Alex Ford, and some would say this week's trivia is about an obsolete form of technology.
Ooh.
Though some of the characters you'll hear in this week's Slice of Trivia would beg to differ. One last note before we start. Alex has broken down these scenes into part 1 and part 2. There will be no short and long versions.
Oh.
Here comes part 1 of our first scene now.
I got one of these in my office. Contains all the precedents. A synthesis of all the great legal decisions written throughout time. I never use it.
Oh, that sounds so familiar. I know this.
Here's part 2.
This is where the law is. Not in that homogenized, pasteurized, synthesized. Do you want to know the law? The ancient concepts in their own language? Learn the intent of the men who wrote them? From Moses to the tribunal of Alpha 3?
Oh, I know this. I know this, but I cannot for the life of me put a name to it.
The actor you just heard was Elijah Cook, and he was playing the lawyer defending Captain Kirk in the first season episode of Star Trek, the original series, Court-Martial, which first aired on February 2nd of 1967. Elijah Cook was a character actor who had a long and distinguished career, appearing in such films as The Maltese Falcon, House on Haunted Hill, Rosemary's Baby, The Night Stalker, Blackula, and Salem's Lot.
Wow.
Here comes part 1 of the next scene.
I'm The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury.
Allow me to introduce...
Oh, may I? The Pickwick Papers, Charles Dickens.
Oh.
Here's the second half.
We're a minority of undesirables crying out in the wilderness. But it won't always be so. One day we shall be called on one by one to recite what we've learned.
Fahrenheit
and then books will be printed again.
451? I think it's 451, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe?
That was Alex Scott in Francois Truffaut's
Truffaut's
version of Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
That's it, yeah.
From 1966. Here's part 1 of the next scene.
By now you've got Holovids, direct-to-brain downloads, fiction myths, but you need the smell. The smell of books, Topper.
Oh.
I'm guessing you figured out who that is, but here's part 2 anyway.
It's like a city.
It's a world. Literally, a world. The whole core of the planet is the index computer. Biggest hard drive ever. And up here, every book ever written. Whole continents of Jeffrey Archer, Bridget Jones, Monty Python's Big Red Book.
This is the library where Rose and... where
that
he
was
meets...
Catherine Tate as Donna Noble and David Tennant as the Doctor in the Doctor Who episode Silence in the Library, which first aired in the UK on May 31st of 2008 and in the US 20 days later. Get ready, here comes our final set of clips for the day.
It's not like George to return empty-handed, to try to rebuild a civilization without a plan. He must have taken something with him.
Nothing. Except 3 books.
Oh, this is a Time Machine. This is the original Time Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was... I like this one.
And part 2.
Which 3 books?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it important?
Oh, I suppose not.
Yeah, it is. It's very important. Which 3 books would you take?
Which 3 books would you have taken?
Yeah, exactly. Which 3 books would you have taken? I pondered that for years, actually, after I saw it.
That was Doris Lloyd and Alan Young in the George Powell version of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine from 1960. By the way, H.G. Wells did not write the last lines in that film. but they're pretty good ones.
Yeah.
Which 3 books would you have chosen? Well, anyway, that's all for Alex Ford's Books Trivia.
Oh, okay.
If you have any trivia clips, trivia ideas, or suggestions you'd like to send me, please send them to sliceoftrivia@gmail.com.
Very, very cool. I like that one.
That was a good one, yeah.
That's a nice little theme. All right, we're going to take a quick break and do another one of these crazy PSAs, and we'll be back after this.
Why do you think your mommy or daddy are always telling you, don't put that in your mouth? Let's find out.
Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you put it in your mouth. Don't you stuff it in your face. Don't stuff it in your face. Though it might look good to eat. Though it might look good to eat. And it might look good to taste. And it might look good to taste. You could get sick. Ick. Real quick. Ick. Real sick. Real ick. Don't you put it in your mouth. Till you ask someone you love. That's right, sis. If it's okay to eat, if it's okay to eat, like a muffin or a beet,
Like a muffin or a beet.
if you don't know just what it is, remember, boys and girls, don't put it in your mouth. Yeah.
Always ask someone you love before you put anything in your mouth.
A message from Concerned Children's Advertisers.
And now, this week's con report. Go get your geek on at a con. The Walter Koenig Star Celebration is being put on by Planet Expo. September 8th through 10th, come celebrate 2 historic events in one weekend. Join us as we celebrate Walter's induction onto the Hollywood Walk of Fame and Star Trek's 46th anniversary. Walter is the last of the original Star Trek 7 regular cast members to get a star on the Walk of Fame, so do not miss this opportunity to be part of history. On September 8th, start the day with a trek down the Hollywood Walk of Fame with Walter to locate every star involved with Star Trek. Then it's off for a screening of Walter's favorite Star Trek movie and episode and a panel at Hollywood's famous Egyptian Theater where Walter will be on stage to introduce the screenings, give us his insights and personal behind-the-scenes anecdotes, and have a Q&A with the audience. Walter has selected the following to be screened at the theater: Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek, the original series episode Spectre of the Gun, and Roddenberry on Patrol. Visit Planet Expo, that's planetxpo.com, for more information. September 8th through 10th, 2012, at the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
That sounds like
really cool,
a lot
actually.
of fun, and I so wish I could go.
Hang out with Walt, and
that would be fun.
Star Walk on the Stars.
Yeah, why not?
Exactly. Well, we got one thing to finish us up here today.
Sure. Why don't we talk about the reimagining of Tom Sawyer and Huck Finn?
Okay, because they need to be done.
Well, they're getting their 21st century makeover thanks to ABC. Now, according to Hollywood Reporter, ABC is developing a Finn and Sawyer, an adventure-themed reinvention that revolves around the 2 famed literary characters who re-meet as young men in their 20s and form an investigative firm in a bustling and steampunk New Orleans.
What?
The series is being produced.
I was going to say zombies.
No,
I'm better with steampunk, thanks.
Yeah, I guess so.
The series is being produced by Jason Richmond and David Zabel. This isn't the first time ABC has given us a new take on the classic Mark Twain characters. At the height of Happy Days' popularity, ABC cast Ron Howard and Donnie Most. Remember them?
Oh,
you remember this, Mike? I do. As Tom and Huck
do.
For a made-for-TV movie about the characters.
You know what though? Hang on. If I'm hoping I'm interjecting my own hopes here, but if this could be something like Wild Wild West meets Huck Finn meets kind of Dick Tracy, Private Eye, Pirate Dick kind of thing, this could be very cool if they do it right.
Maybe.
I'm thinking steampunk world. If you're doing
this would be the first steampunk kind of TV series, really. So,
but if you got all the really crazy inventions and stuff,
like Wild Wild West,
Wild Wild West, if you did that kind of treatment where you were introducing some of the kind of cool tech and the steampunky elements of that world and wrapped it around, then it's less about Tom and Huck and it's more about the world and the gadgets, that could be cool.
Well, but then wouldn't people be disappointed that the characters weren't Tom and Huck?
Would you really be disappointed?
Maybe, because I like the books.
Oh,
yeah, but these are going to have no basis other than, hey, it's got Tom and Huck as the characters, and these are their names. Really, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to be really annoying about it.
It's basically League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. It's like, why did we have to have Tom Sawyer in that role? But anyway, whatever.
But you digress.
So Americans,
but I digress.
Americans would want to watch the movie.
Exactly. That was it.
Yeah, they're like, who are all these other people? They're all foreigners.
Them foreigner people. We don't need them. Jeez.
Oh, man.
Oh, well. Anyway, that's going to do it for this show. Good conversation, though, guys.
Yes, really good one.
If you want to join in on a conversation, you know the number. It's 206-339-TREK. That's 206-339-8735. Of course, we will be back more in a couple days with more stuff.
Yep.
Or we'll be back in a couple days with more stuff, not more in a couple days.
More stuff in a couple of days.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Aren't those the same things?
I digress, because I digress.